The next title by the Genshin Impact developer Hoyoverse has now got a release date. The turn-based RPG Honkai Star Rail will be chugging its way here on April 26th for PC and mobile. You'll be able to pre-install the game on April 23rd. The game will also coming to consoles PS4 and PS5 at a later date. Unlike its predecessor though, Honkai Star Rail uses turn-based combat rather than the action-oriented battles featured in Genshin. Players will explore an open world and collect different characters to boost their roster. The game has a sci-fi aesthetic with anime-inspired visuals. The free-to-play game will be available on PC and mobile with microtransactions as its main monetization. Recently, Hoyoverse held a special program going over some of the fine details about turn-based battles in Honkai Star Rail. Each character features their own abilities with basic attack, skill attack, and an ultimate, as well as talents which will be automatically triggered in battle. But the characters' abilities are not limited to battle. Characters also have a special technique which can be used before engaging in battle. For example, Seal's technique uses stealth to remain undetected by enemies, so if you wish to, you can slip past. Gaining new characters isn't necessary to complete the main story, but it may prove useful in more challenging content. The Forgotten Hall, for example, will be the game's more challenging mode, pitting players through different stages, limited by cycles. If you are unable to complete the battle within the limited number of cycles available, you will fail. Another interesting mode is the Simulated Universe, a sort of maze-type mode with roguelike features. Players can try different team setups to overcome the more difficult enemies. For more on this news or any news mentioned in this video, check out the link in the description below. You will have to wait a little longer to have the power to wield sound weapons, as Atlas Fallen has now been pushed to August 10th, 2023. Originally set to release on May 16th for PC, Xbox Series and PlayStation 5, it will now be released a few months later. Publisher Focus Entertainment and developer Deck 13 have shared on Twitter that the reason for the delay is to give the game some extra time. The game is promised to get some new gameplay footage and updates in summer 2023. In case you missed the details, Atlas Fallen combines the ability to wield the power of sand and take on some interesting beasts. The enemies include mutated insects, demons, as well as sand creatures. Safe to say there will be some fast-paced combat with some menacing foes. Combat can be taken on in co-op with a seamless experience according to Deck 13. While surely it's disappointing that we'll have to wait for the Desert Action RPG to cook a little longer, hopefully this means it'll be enough time to add the extra polish needed. A newly released gameplay demonstration showed off this week the Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Link's new abilities in the upcoming sequel. The demo starts with a look at the world of Hyrule, which has gone through some changes. For starters, there are now floating islands or sky islands. For a quick rundown, we got a look at new abilities for Link, including Recall, which lets him rewind time on falling objects and travel up to the floating islands above. Then there's Ascend, letting Link pass through ceilings of buildings and even caves, meaning yes, no more slow climbing up tall objects if they have a ceiling. You can also accelerate falling and glide to water so you don't die, in case you've accidentally got yeeted off somewhere at a great height. There's new crafting abilities such as Fuse, which lets you put together materials and weapons to make super weapons. Then finally the Ultra Hand, which lets you IKEA vehicles. Nintendo also revealed its swanky Zelda Tears of the Kingdom OLED Switch, controller, and Switch case. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom will release exclusively on Switch on May 12th. A story expansion will be releasing on May 26th for the magical parkour RPG Forspoken. The DLC will be set 25 years before the events of the main story of the game. While set at a different time, Frey will be continuing the fight to stop the Break from destroying Athia forever. Following a mysterious voice, she'll end up back in the past during the Purge of Reddick. This terrible battle is the cause of Athia's destruction and current state. The expansion comes after the lukewarm response to the release of Forspoken, which didn't manage to stir sales. Square Enix's president and representative director Yusuke Matsuda shared earlier in March that the reviews for Forspoken have been challenging, but says the action features of the game received praise. In case you missed it, Forspoken was released in January, containing an impressive mix of magic with parkour stunts with some stunning fantasy visuals. Forspoken in Tantus We Trust will be released on May 26th. Those who purchase the digital deluxe edition of the game will get early access on May 23rd. The return of Summer Game Fest 2023 has been confirmed to be kicking off on June 8th. According to the producer Jeff Keighley, production is ramping up and this one sets to be the biggest Summer Game Fest yet. The details surrounding Summer Game Fest 2023 are still rather thin, but there will be lots of announcements and updates going by previous years. Last year, Summer Game Fest gave us trailers for Zenless Zone Zero, Midnight Suns, as well as One Piece Odyssey. This showcase has also given us big news in the past, such as the Elden Ring release date plus gameplay. Teasing that this will be the biggest one yet sets high hopes for some major announcements. One thing we do know is Ubisoft will be part of it. Just this week, the publisher announced it would be holding its Ubisoft Forward at Summer Game Fest on June 12th. Teased to have the latest game updates, news and reveals. As for what we'll be seeing, hopefully more of the Assassin's Creed franchise, which previously revealed to have a few projects on the go, including the mainline title Mirage. Ubisoft Singapore, on the other hand, is developing a pirate adventure titled Skull and Bones, which is set to release sometime between early 2023 and 2024. Then there is the elusive action RPG Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is still in development but has been rather quiet on the news front. This leads up to our next piece of news, and that's E3. Well, it's official, E3 has now been cancelled. An official statement was put out by the ESA, which summed up the reasons behind E3 2023 not being present this year. This doesn't come as a huge surprise surrounding the reports of companies pulling out or deciding to forego the major video gaming industry event. Global VP of Gaming at ReedPop, Carl Marston, issued a statement in an IGN report expressing the difficult decision. As for whether E3 will return next year, the statement shares optimism as ReedPop showed interest in working with the ESA in future E3 events. This year the conference was supposed to start on June 13th, ending on June 16th. After a hiatus which was the first in-person E3 since the pandemic, both 2020 and 2021 shows were cancelled, with ESA promising a revamped format with a revitalised showcase. However, reports of companies choosing to forego the event started to emerge this year. First publisher giants Nintendo, Microsoft and Sony all reported to be missing the show in favour of their own press conferences. This was followed by news of Ubisoft Forward opting for Summer Game Fest instead. E3 may return in another way, but for now it looks like the Gamescom will be skipping this year. What are your thoughts on E3 being cancelled? Let us know in the comments below. The expansion Phantom Liberty is the next major update for Cyberpunk 2077. The dystopian set RPG will be gaining its major edition later this year, but developer CD Projekt Red promises we'll be getting a look at what's to come in June. In case you missed it, Phantom Liberty will follow V, the main character of the main game. In the teaser trailer previously released, they would look to be getting into some trouble again, now swearing allegiance to the new United States of America. Now with America at the hands of someone new, things are about to get bumpy. Also revealed last December is a new celebrity face, Move Over Johnny. Idris Elba will be taking up the role of FIA agent Solomon Reed. But familiar face Johnny Silverhand, played by Keanu Your Breathtaking Reeves, will be reprising his role. Despite his character not being exactly the good guy, the actor's star power seems to have won players over. Not much else has been divulged. What we do know is the expansion will be coming to current gen consoles only, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PC, moving away from last gen due to their technical constraints. The next big expansion for the action RPG Path of Exile, Crucible, will be coming to PC and Mac on April 7th. It will later join PlayStation and Xbox on April 12th. Crucible will be adding new features such as the Crucible Challenge League, Atlas Gateways, an updated passive skill tree, new Val skills, and much more. It kicks off a new league, this time called the Crucible Challenge League, which will push the boundaries of the game's item system according to Grinding Gear Games. Players will be able to augment weapons with their own skill trees, keeping the playstyle of the character in mind. Unlocking Crucible skills will require experience from encounters within the Crucible, adding powerful effects. Pick a weapon to improve by channeling it at an ancient forge. Channeling will cause molten monsters to meld into larger and more ferocious fiends. Unlocking Crucible skills will give a great balance and risk and reward feeling, as leveling your weapon will mean a more powerful weapon, but at the cost of more of a risk to fail at the challenge at hand. The exclusive endgame area, the Forge of Titans, will allow players to combine these skill trees to create weapons of extensive power. Well, that's it for the Week in the Wikis. Please join us again next week for yet another great week of gaming. Remember to check out our VIP program for some exclusive supporter benefits. And budding writers should take advantage of our Become an Author initiative. Thanks again for being part of this great community. Keep checking in with us with news, reviews, YouTube streams and vids, and general wiki goodness.